Good morning, people. We have 9 days to have the beach buggy built. We are planning to leave Reading at 7:30 on Friday the 24th. So fingers crossed we can get it done this week. We've got a lot to do, as you'll see in the coming video. Never a dull moment here. Today we have the Heritage crew that have popped down to check out the beach buggy. I think they're thoroughly impressed, guys.
Very much so,
yeah. So they've been supplying us with all the bits and pieces we need to build this beach buggy, and yeah, we've got 9 days to go, and it currently looks like this. They're saying they're impressed, but I can see by their faces, how the hell are we going to do it? Bit of a Flintstones at the moment, isn't it? And the guys have just dropped off the Mark II Golf. We are going to be working on this, doing some welding work and getting it MOT'd for them, and I believe it's going to be used as a bit of a pool car. Some lucky sod will get to drive around in this car soon. But yeah, back to the beach buggy. We haven't got any time to waste, so we'll get it back in the workshop, get it mounted up onto that floor pan and start putting all the bits and pieces on it. Cheers, guys. Thank you, see you later. So we have lots going on at the minute, including Brian over here taking care of the wiring harness. So, any flat surface, Brian? So yeah, he's dealing with all the wiring for the 20 valve turbo as we speak, repinning and utilising the old fuse box as well. And then once this has all been tested, we will sleeve it all and electrical tape it. So he's making some good progress. If you want to know more about that, let us know, drop a comment below. But otherwise, yeah, making good progress there. We've got stuff going on all over the place. We do have a bit of a disaster. So earlier on you saw me doing some welding work to the rims. Well, it turns out that one of them leaks and it dropped the pressure over the weekend. So we need to investigate that and see where it's leaking. It might just be on the bead. We're not 100% sure yet. It could be on one of the welds. But yeah, time crunch, we needed to get it done quickly. So worst way, we might have to re-weld and reseal that wheel. Otherwise all the other ones are okay. We've had some more bits turn up. So we've had the seat belts, so we've gone for a 3-point harness. I've got a number plate light with a reflector turned up, a blanking plate as well. So this blanking plate actually goes on the engine around the back, and you can't really see it at the minute, but behind here, you see down there, that needs to be blanked off. And this is a little adapter kit that you can buy off of eBay to blank that off. Comes with a little O-ring. Comes with a little O-ring as well. The dipstick tube needs to go on, and the intake manifold. I think that's it for the minute. We're going to paint black the gearbox as well. Front brakes are pretty much there. We've got to get the pads in, and we've got to paint up the track rod ends. There is one more. It's in an X-Prime at the minute. We're just going to paint it up and tidy that all up. It's all been cleaned up, so that can go on. And meanwhile, Chris is in the paint booth taking care of the windscreen. So that's going white, and we've got the surfboard as well. That's going white, and we've got the framework for the rear spoiler. That's going white as well. So it'll all be all white in a minute, Chris. Oh yeah, don't stand on those, Kaz. These, these are the end plates to the spoiler as well, so we're gonna tie them up and paint that all white in one go. But yeah, this should look pretty nice when that's all painted. Just tidies it up. Yeah, excited to see that surfboard. We're gonna have some sign writing done on that later as well, so watch this space. So at this point we're moving on to the headlights. So I picked these up off of eBay, and we need to somehow get those mounted in these holes. So what I've come up with is, if I cut a piece of perspex to this kind of shape around there, then cut a hole in the middle of it, we should be able to get those on there. So I'm going to make one now, and then I'll show you in a second. There we go. So just a piece of, I guess that's 5mm plastic. I've cut a hole, and that will fit there like that, and then the light actually fixes into that as well. And then we're going to screw that in place. I'm going to make another one for the other side. Yeah, hopefully that will work. I'll show you how I've done this actually. So this is how I did it. Basically cut out this acrylic, just use a cutting disc to cut that out roughly, and then sanded it back down so it looks neat. And then once that's cut out, the headlight actually drops into the middle and goes like that. I'm going to drill a hole on either side so we can screw that into position, and then I can use packers to adjust it how we want. It is a beach buggy, the front is going to move up and down, so I'm not too worried about that. We're just going to get a reasonable beam coming off of it. For MOT purposes, we still will be able to adjust it using the screws on the side. But I'll get these cut out, mount that into place. We're going to paint this probably black as well, and it should all make sense. Let me get it done and I'll show you on the car. So you join us back with Brian building all the front suspension up, getting all the track rod ends on now, and the steering box. Oh dear.
Right there, Liz. It's real wet.
Oh goodness. Okay, let's. Okay, we haven't got time for this, so I'll be right back. Just like magic, we've got another one. So, does this one work? So, our motto, we've got everything, you just got to find it. Yeah, I think that's going to work nicely. So let's get this cleaned up and painted, and that one can go on. So with that little problem out the way, another steering box ready to go. We can carry on with that. Meanwhile, we need to mock up a temporary radiator. Our radiator isn't here yet. Fortunately, again, we've got a GTI radiator with the same mounting brackets that we're going to be using for our alley rad that we've had made, so we can mock that up. We've got the rear brakes to go on, so we're going to be working on that shortly. The rear shocks as well, from Heritage, they're going on there. We've got a rebuild kit for the rear brakes as well, so we'll get that all stripped apart and done. I have been taking care of sorting out some of the lighting, as you've just seen, making up the headlights. Got the other one here, so I'm going to make the other one up, and I've got a cunning plan for adjusters using some of the sponge 3M backed rubber trim as well. So I'll show you as I make that, so we can actually adjust these headlights up and down and left to right as well. But you can see now I've made up the brackets. We've done some mastic around that just to seal that in, stop them vibrating. But I'll show you the next bit that I want to do with that and how I'm going to mount that. Otherwise, we've painted the rear drums as well. They're done in the same wrinkle finish, high temperature paint. Just nice and simple, easy to do. We degreased them, they're all brand new. They're ones that came from Heritage as well. I've been busy making the dash as well, so I'm now going to cut some holes and get them mounted into the dash. What else have we got? We've just ordered the fittings for the fuel pump. Oh, that reminds me. So this monstrosity of a fuel tank, weighs a lot, but we think it's going to come in handy with the ballast in the front of the beach buggy. So at the minute I'm soaking it. I'm trying this, we've not done this before, so the Evaporust, everybody raves about that, and I thought I'd try it out. So we've been soaking the inside of the tank and turning it side to side just to check how it's cleaned up, and I'm very surprised. It's doing really well. Apparently this stuff is also reusable, so once we're finished doing what we're doing, we can filter it and put it back in and reuse it again. So yeah, Evaporust might be worth checking it out if you've got a similar project. We will sand down the outside and paint the outside, so that isn't a problem. It's more dealing with the inside. I've got to find out what sender it's meant to have as well. I'm hoping it's a classic Volkswagen Beetle sender unit. I've got one upstairs, so we'll test that out and see if that works. And we need to sort out this tap as well. This is the original tap it had on the bottom. At the minute it's wound open and there's no way of shutting it off. I guess they've just screwed the screw tight there, but we'll look at that later. It's got little gauze on it as well. We're probably going to have to do away with that, and we will put an inline filter, and then the new pump that we've got over there actually comes with a filter as well, so it'll be double filtered before it gets to the engine. But yeah, let me get a torch and I can show you inside this. Right, so let's try and show you inside the tank. So what it's already done. This was all heavily rusted inside there, and you can see the fluid sitting down the bottom, and the sides are all coming up clean. So over this side, you can see the bottom has actually stripped off lovely. That one we haven't done yet. You can see the layer of corrosion along that side. The bottom there had a heavy bit of corrosion. I think with a bit of a wash that will come off as well. We're just doing down there. But yeah, very pleased with that. Fingers crossed we can save the fuel tank. So like I said, we've got a hell of a lot to do. We technically only have 9 days to have this running, driving and working. I need to contact the ECU guy. We're having that made at the minute. He hasn't come back to us, so we haven't even heard the engine run yet. I'm going to set the camera up onto a time-lapse with me and Brian knocking out as much as possible. I think Evan's going to join us as well and deal with the rear brakes, so you'll see him coming at one point. And if there's anything interesting, I'll stop the camera and video round. Otherwise, let's get some tunes on and set the camera up for some time-lapse. So we had a little bit of an issue that our wheels that are custom made didn't actually fit around our new disc brake conversion. So I'll saying again, we've got everything, we just need to find it. We dug deep and found some spacers, and then we've just found some wheel bolts as well, so we can get those on, and that all clears now. So that's that issue solved. Next one, you just saw Evan fighting away at getting those drums off. They can be pretty stubborn, they rust in the centre and they won't come off, but he's got that off now. So we're now dealing with the mess inside here. So yeah, we'll get this all cleaned up. I have actually got new seals as well, so we'll probably build that back up. We will straighten up the drum, the backing plate, sorry. We've got new wheel cylinders to go on there. New shoes, new drums, yeah, new everything, so we'll put that all back together. The handbrake cables are new. Hopefully the adjuster's unfree, so we can clean that all up, and oh yeah, they're nice anyway. So yeah, that's that. We've got new shocks to go on as well, so we're going to build that all up. So Evan will be dealing on the back, Brian's still going on the front bits and pieces. I'll set you up in a different location. Actually, I'll tell you about something else. So I've been doing the steering box. So this is the one that we had upstairs, brand new old stock. Not really, it's been used, but it's in very good condition, so it's not locking up like the one that came with the beach buggy had. So yeah, I'm just cleaning that all up. The trick I use is, first of all, I gave it a bit of a chemical clean, and then jet washed it, and then used a wire brush, so a couple of different fittings on drills getting in there, and even a bit of a flap wheel on the grinder, tidied all of that up. So we'll give this a blow off the airline now. I'll just go around, blow that all off, clean it up. We're going to replace all of the coupling anyway, and then we'll paint this up so it looks pretty. Okay, so you join us back now where we are taking care of the intercooler, mounting that. We've just worked out roughly where we're going to do it, so I'm going to get on, drill the cage, and yeah, put some rib nuts into the cage so we can mount it all up, and I'll show you what we've got planned. Okay, so I thought I'd take this moment to chat to you about what I'm doing here. I've actually just drilled a hole in the framework there and drilled a couple up here. So these ones I've actually just cut a thread in there, both sides, so we can wind a bolt in so that locks this onto this frame without welding, because we need to be able to remove this from where it's bolted onto the engine and then pull it all off. And then we are going to be mounting an intercooler on here. I'll show that in a second, but we worked out where we were going to do it. We've just done a large rib nut in here, so these are pretty cool. You drill out the hole, and then this is actually a device for putting the rib nuts in, and that there is a small rib nut. We drop that into the hole on this tool, and then squeezing these together, it pulls on this and crushes this down. So these little things, there's a big one there, but I'll just show you. So they look like that, and they have a thread inside. So I'll try and get to focus. There we go, you can see the thread inside. And then when you pull on the thread, it crushes this top bit. Therefore that bites into the hole and holds it in place. Okay, so you join me back with the wheels, and I need to fit these little clips on to hold the hubcaps on. Normally you would rivet these from the face of the wheel, but because these are so deep I can't get the rivet gun in there, well, the air rivet gun that I've got anyway, so I'm doing it from behind. So hello. So what I'm doing is using this air rivet gun, and I'll put the rivet in the end. That's these little things. So we've got some nice stumpy ones, and that will go through from the back. We put the clip in place, line up the rivet and the hole, hold the clip in place, pull the trigger, and that's one on. So I'll just repeat that process around the wheel and get all of those fitted on like that. So once more from a slightly different angle, that's the rivet in the gun. I take the little bracket, put it in from this way, line up the holes and pull the trigger. So those nice new stainless steel moon disc caps will fit on there, covering all the wheel nuts up and the hub up as well. I think these look really good with the white writing as well. They're really going to pop on the car when it's all done. So I'm still going strong. It's now 9:15 on Tuesday night, and yeah, the intercooler is now on. So let me just show you that. I'll flip the camera around. So this is how we've done it. It's mounted up on here. So we've got one mount down the bottom. I've just tack welded this one on here that supports it there, and there's one on that bar that we run underneath. So that's now, obviously that's not bolted in, but it will be all solid. It is a second-hand one. You know, it's a big build. There's a lot of money going into this. but time is of the essence, and we had this one, so this is what's going to go on there. We've also mocked up all the piping. We've put the Audi TT 2.5 inlet manifold on there as well, which flips the intake round, so the throttle body is now this end instead of the other end, so that makes it easier for us to join up the piping. And then the same round this side, so we need to come off of the turbo down here, we're coming up, and then it actually steps up to a bigger size on there, so there's one from there to there. We've just ordered some extra piping so we can do that. We still need to make an exhaust, but I want to get the body back on so we can work out where that's going to go. We've obviously got all these tabs on here that we've already welded on, so the framework for the big spoiler will go on there. Chris actually clear coated the spoiler today, so that is all done. It had a couple of little repairs to be done, but you can see the carbon weave in that, and it is proper carbon fibre, not a sticker or sprayed on or anything like that. So yeah, nice bit of kit. You can see all the weave in it nicely there, but that should look awesome when it goes back on. That was literally just painted today, so that still needs to dry. That's why we've got things hanging up. The windscreen's now been painted as well, as you saw earlier. So now I need to dismantle all of this and do a little bit of welding on the frame there, so I might set the camera up in a minute and do a little bit of time lapse of me doing that welding. Then with those two bits I can load them in the van, and I'm going to drop them off at a friend of ours, and he's going to powder coat them. It's just too big for us to do, and we've got a lot of work going on, so they're going to take care of that for us. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We've got the seat belt bolts up the top here. We were going to put a brace across the bottom, but the seats haven't actually arrived. We had a set of seats turn up, but they just don't look like they're going to fit, so I've gone for something a little bit different. Fingers crossed they turn up in time and they actually fit. That's going to be down to the wire, but to play it safe, rather than putting the bar across and then being interrupted by any of the seats with the position, obviously it's a short wheelbase, so sitting right at the very back, and feet stretched out. We might need as much room as possible, and I don't know the rake of the back of the seat properly, so I'm not sure how that's going to come up. So yeah, we've got the seatbelt mounts at the top there, and we're having a 3-point harness that will come down here through the seat, and then 2 on the floor, which we'll mount later on. Yeah, let's carry on, get this all stripped down. So on to the next bit, we'll weld up the tabs. Give those a little bit of a grind down in a minute, and that piece is ready for powder coating. I think that is it. We are good on the cage. I'll drop this off in the morning and we'll carry on with the rest of the car. Still going strong. So it's now 10 o'clock. Don't know if you can see that. There you go, 10 o'clock. And I've moved on to lights. So I wanted to do something different with the lights. I've measured both sides and the body is actually slightly off, so the arches are slightly different each side. Not uncommon with a beach buggy, especially an old mould. Yeah, I played around with it and this is what I've come up with. Let me just flip the camera around. So I was trying different angles, but I just wasn't happy. It didn't look symmetrical. I was being really fussy both sides. So I've gone with mounting it upwards like that. So I've already just drilled the first hole. Let's drill the other hole, and then I'll mount the lights on there and you guys can take a look. Let me know what you think. If you'd done it differently, drop a comment below. If you think that this looks good, give me a thumbs up. Obviously quite thick as well. And then the light will mount in there like that. It's going to open them holes up a little bit more. It's quite thick there as well, both sides. This should fit on really neatly. And I'll drill a hole for the wiring as well. We'll run that wiring through. It's a nice tight fit. Might open those up a little bit more. And we're going, let's just mark that for the wiring. Just about there. Let's drill that one out. Got to work out which way up this is going as well. It's actually got a sequential indicator in it as well. There we go. Yeah, it sure is a tight fit. I like that, that's different, that should work quite well. Let's get the other one on and yeah, see how it looks when it's finished. And well, that's it. I need to load up this roll cage and get out of here. It's 10:10 on Tuesday night and I'm done. So hopefully everything comes together and we can get this build done in time. But for tonight, that's it. Thanks for watching. Catch us in the next video. One last thing, don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't already done so, drop us a comment. Let us know your views on this beach buggy build. Would you do something different? Is it right up your street? Will it pull wheelies? Who knows? I can't wait to drive it. Catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.